Alright guys, this is my homecoming review. This is my about 7th attempt at making this. Keeps coming over 10 minutes, so hopefully I can get it below that. I love this episode. It was a great episode, probably the best in the series so far. So many flashbacks, so many nostalgic moments, a lot of heartwarming um, things happen in this episode. The whole style is told in a kind of Christmas Carol kind of way. Brainiac is giving Clark a tour of his past, his present, and his future. I like the nice little thing about the it felt so good when Clark went into the editor's office in the Torch. You see the two new I guess the two new editors there, and they sort of look like Clark and Chloe a little bit, or dressed like them, and it was nice, bringing back some good old memories from the Torch and the Wall of Weird. We hear the name Media Freaks be mentioned again, which has been a while since I've heard the name Media Freaks said in an episode. It was a little, it was funny. It was nice seeing the Wall of Weird being taken down. It was like in its physical form now. It's I think it's on like an iPhone app or something. He showed Clark, like an application where you can see like the Wall of Weird, that it actually isn't. They didn't throw it away. They just put it, in a digital medium. So that was, I thought it was a nice touch, bringing it into the 21st century. Um, the clip where they show Lana talking about, all the old clip from season one, the first episode where Clark, I think his books fall on the floor, and Lana helps him pick them up, and she sees, he has a book by Nietzsche, and she says, I didn't know you had a dark side to yourself, Clark. What are you, man or Superman? And that brings home again, um, the, it relates to the theme and the whole story of the season about the dark force coming, and that there is an arrogance, there is a darker side of Clark than we're used to seeing. And I didn't expect them to use that clip. I never thought of them using that clip. I never even thought of that scene when I was thinking about the whole story and the whole narrative of this season. But it was really good, expertly edited. You know, they put it in at a very good time. I didn't expect it, as I've said. Sorry to repeat myself, but it was just there's really the episode is really, it's hard to do a review on this episode because really it's something you just have to see. It's more of an experience more than rather than something that you can just get a feeling for by someone's review. It's on I think it's on iTunes now. So I mean, if you want, you could go download it and see if you haven't already, or if you've seen it to get it again. But this is a real treat to the fans. I mean, so many people were complaining throughout the years that when are we going to see Clark finally become Superman? When are we going to see him get over the whole death of Jonathan? And we see that in this episode. Reminds him that the whole choice of the theme of choice, and some people have destinies. Clark has one. We all know that. But he also said that Jonathan had his own destiny, which was fulfilled by his choice of saving Clark, and he died doing it. But that was his choice, and Clark has to respect that and realize that it wasn't his fault. He brings him to the day that he buried his father, and he said that was a very important day for him. Meaning, that was the day that he started like beating himself up over his past, the past problems, the past issues that have gone on in his life. Clark brings up that or Brainiac brings up that you've heard a lot of people just focusing too much on your past mistakes, and we finally see when Clark goes into the future, meeting with the amazing scene where he meets his future self, the mild mannered reporter Clark Kent. We see him finally take um, a more confident look at himself. He likes what he becomes. It's very you're happy to see Clark finally glad about what he's doing in life, and the fact that he has doubts about his future. He doesn't know what he's going to become. He knows that now his choices now in the present will dictate his future, and if he gets off of that course, then the future that he saw will not happen. So the future can change, but it is based on his choices. So he knows that he has to go forward and he has to become the hero that he was meant to be, that we all have been waiting for this whole time. And I think they really put it on a good track. They put it on, they sped up the whole process of him becoming Superman. Another nice little, not trivia, it's sort of like trivia, but it was a um, nice little like touch that they put in. It was music. It had to do with some of the music in the episode. When Lois is talking to that girl at the punch table, the music that's playing in the background is the same music being played at the end of the pilot episode in season one, where Clark is thinking about Lana. So I thought that was good. I thought that was really good to put in, and as I've said, a review and just hearing someone else talk about this doesn't do the episode justice. If you haven't been seeing Smallville for a long time, you'll probably you'll get um, you probably won't really appreciate these moments as some others have. The ones that have been watching this since the first season, but it was a great episode for the fans. It was a fan-centered episode. This wasn't to get anyone new in. I mean, I'm sure you're going to get more people in there knowing because, now knowing that he's on a quicker road to becoming Superman, and we're that one step closer to him putting the suit on. And this is such a this episode, his personality, his attitude at the end is such a stark contrast to what he was in the previous episode. Such a big turn. What a big change of events. The last scene in the episode was very heartwarming, very touching, where Lois has her heels on Clark's shoes, and they're dancing, and because they didn't get to dance at the prom, I mean at the homecoming, um, and Clark, I mean, I don't know, I guess because he's happy, because usually people say, like in Dragon Ball Z or something, that like a sense of happiness, a sense of like inner peace and calmness really is what makes you fly. But he's not actually flying, but he's dancing with her, and he starts to hover in midair. So it was just so nice to see because I didn't expect that again. It was another one of those things that they put in the episode that you just didn't see coming, and this probably means you know he's set on wanting to fly. He's not. I guess he's not afraid anymore. He knows that this is a big step forward. Flying. That this is a next step in his process of becoming Superman, and the future Lois. I like both the future Clark and the future Lois because they resemble the iconic characters that we have all come to know and love from the comics and from your own personal readings on the information on Superman. The more popular notion, the popular idea and belief of what he is and what his personality is and what Lois's personality is. She is such an uplifting person. You After this episode, you realize that there can be only one. There cannot be anyone but Lois for Clark. That she is like his ultimate soulmate. She is his ultimate soulmate, and that they were meant for each other. I mean, you see now that currently she's more reluctant to admit that they're in a relationship, and you kind of see them as opposites. But even though they are opposites, still a little bit in the future, um, you just see that they're so meant for each other that there really is no other one else that I could imagine being with Clark, for life. And in the future, it is implied that they're married. I think it was 7 years in the future he went. So it is implied that they're married. He knows that Lois, his future self knows that Lois knows about his secret, and that was great to put in the episode. Again, I loved it. I'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. Take care, bye.